spiderweb. There are stories that unwind themselves as simply as a ball of string. A man is on a plane between New York and Denver. He sees his life as moving along a straight line. Today here, tomorrow there. The destination is not so important as the progression itself. During lunch, he talks to the woman seated beside him. She is from Baltimore, perhaps 20 years older. It turns out she has had 2 children killed by drunk drivers, 2 incidents 15 years apart. At first, I wanted to die every day, she says. Now, I only want to die now and then. Again and again, she tries to make her life move forward in a straight line, but it keeps curving back to those 2 deaths, curves back like a fishhook stuck through her gut. I guess I'm lucky, she says. I have other children left. The man and woman discuss books, horses, they talk about different cities, but each conversation keeps returning to the fact of those deaths, as if each conversation were a fall from a roof, and those 2 deaths were the ground itself, a son and daughter, one 5, one 14. The plane lands, they separate, the man goes off to his various meetings, but for several days, whenever he's at dinner or sitting around in the evening, he says to whomever he is with, "You know, I met the saddest woman on the plane," but he can't get it right. Can't decide whether she is sad or brave or what. Can't describe how the woman herself fought to keep the subject straight, keep it from bending back to the fact of the dead children, and then how she would collapse and weep, then curse herself and go at it again. After a week or so, the man completes his work and returns home. Once more, he gathers up the threads of his life. It's spring. The man works in his garden, repairs all that is broken around his house. He thinks of how a spider makes its web, how the web is torn by people with brooms, insects, rapacious birds, how the spider rebuilds and rebuilds until the wind takes the web and breaks it and flicks it into the heavens' blue and innocent immensity. The invitation. There are lives in which nothing goes right. The would-be suicide takes a bottle of pills and immediately throws up. He tries to hang himself, but gets his arm caught in the noose. He tries to throw himself under a subway, but misses the last train. He walks home. It's raining. He catches a cold and dies. Once in heaven, it is no better. He mops the marble staircase and accidentally jams his foot into the pail. All his harp strings break. His halo slips down his neck and nearly chokes him. "Why is he here?" demands one of the noble dead, an archbishop or general, a leader of men. If a loser like that can enter heaven, then how is it an honor for us to be here as well, those of us who are totally deserving? But the would-be suicide knows none of this. In the evening, he returns to his little cloud house and watches the sun set over the planet Earth. He stares down at the cities filled with people and thinks how sad it is that they should rush backward and forward as if they had some great destination when their only destination is death itself, a place to be reached by sitting as well as running. He thinks about his own life with its betrayals and disappointments, regret, how he never made the softball team, how his favorite shirts always shrank in the wash. His eyes moisten, and he sheds a few tears, but secretly, because in heaven crying is forbidden. Still, the tears tumble down through all those layers of blue sky and strike a salesman rushing between point A and point B The salesman slips, staggers, and stops as if slapped in the face. People on the street think he's crazy or drunk. Why am I selling 10,000 ballpoint pens? He asks himself. Suddenly, his only wish is to dance the tango. He sees how the setting sun caresses the cold faces of the buildings. He sees a beautiful woman and desperately wants to ask her to stroll in the park. Maybe he will kiss her cheek. Maybe she will love him back. "You maniac," she tells him. "Didn't you know I was only waiting for you to ask me?"